Because like since you were being taken under Slipknot's wing, did you guys get like a lot of comparisons drawn to the two bands?
But that was one of the reasons why we took our makeup off.
How do you feel about the whole Pantera tribute?
I got nothing but love for Zach and Charlie's, but it's hard for me because, Vinny was my bro, and I know how he felt about it.
Do you think there'll ever be another Hell Yeah record?
I can't see us ever doing it again without him.
Hey, it's me, Jesse Lee, and thanks for letting me in your ear holes today. Whew, that's a weird way to start things. All right, we're off to a shaky start. Anyway, today's episode has Mudvayne frontman Chad Gray. Mudvayne was one of the biggest nu metal bands on the planet, sold like 6 million records, and then they went on hiatus for 11 years and just came back in 2021. So we dive into like what happened 11 years ago and what it feels like to be back and being embraced by a whole new generation of fans that are just discovering them on, TikTok, whatever social media platform they choose to find their new metal these days. Chad was also the singer for the metal supergroup HELLYEAH, which featured the late Pantera drummer Vinnie Paul. So we dive into, of course, how Chad feels about this whole Pantera tribute or reunion, whatever you want to call what Pantera is out there doing on the road right now, that seems to be super polarizing because a lot of Pantera purists, if you will, think they shouldn't be out there performing under the Pantera name. And then there's the other side of fans who are just super excited they get to see the band live again. But I want to know what Chad thought. I needed to know Chad's thoughts on this because he had direct line of communication with the guys. We also talk about the importance of playing live, not using backing tracks, and why he thinks that bands need to be in the moment and not rely on a click. And we talk about possible new Mudvayne music. And of course, I had to get his take on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. See who thinks gonna take home the bag with that one. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. If you are listening on Spotify and are for whatever reason not following the podcast, hit the little follow button. And while you're there on Spotify, you're gonna see these little stars. You're gonna see some stars, just like you. You're a star, but I want you to find the stars on Spotify and hit the 5 stars. Give me a 5-star rating. It helps the show out tremendously. It doesn't cost you anything. It's like giving me like a little virtual high five. And this is a 5-star interview. I promise. I'm coming with the goods. I want to deliver you nonsense. There is a lot of nonsense, but there's a lot of good stuff here too. I promise. And if you dig the episode, make sure to share on whatever social media platform you choose and tag me. I'll reshare it. I'll share the love back. We can be best friends. We can be social media best friends if you want. I'm down. Let's do it. Let's dive into the episode.
Well, dude, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. I know you just got done doing some stuff in Australia, and then you got a bunch of festivals lined up in May already. Are you guys going to be rehearsing between now and then, or do you have it like just already dialed in that you don't need to?
I want to rehearse as fucking little as possible. I know these songs, especially these songs. Obviously putting Mudvayne back together after 13 years, we rehearsed our ass off, but we had to.
Right.
But once I relearn them, it's like, I don't know. They're just kind of beat in, and like I think we're basically playing the same set we just played in Australia. So I'm not like, it's not going to be like 6 months or something. Yeah. So I'm totally fine with doing like a day. Just like getting in there and just kind of getting after it a little bit and figuring it out. Matt is the guy that needs a lot of time. But dude, it's crazy because Matt has a V drum kit at home. And I'm not trying to throw him under the bus right now or anything like that. But I made sure that when after we did those initial Mudvayne dates, and he was wanting to rehearse like a lot before shows, I'm like, what do you need for your kit at home, your V drum kit, to mirror your acoustic kit? How many drums are you short? 1. Okay. How many cymbals are you short? 2. Okay. Dione, get him another fucking drum and get him 2 more cymbals for his V drum kit. So it at least mirrors his acoustic kit. And I know that they play differently. Right. The snap off that you're going to get off of a V drum kit is not like, it's not going to have that head bounce. The V drum kits are like, they're like playing on fucking practice pads.
I was just, the whole feel's just got to be a little off.
Whole feel is completely different. And I understand that. And I try to give him the benefit of the doubt with that. But like, if he had his way, he would fucking rehearse 3 or 4 days, 5 days, before,
a singer can't do
one
that,
show. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't fucking want to. And it's like, if we were to do 3 rehearsal days and then the first show is a festival day, I could do the first 2 and then I would have to take the day off because I wouldn't want to go to the festival day on my 4th singing day in a row.
Yeah.
So I have to take that day off. So for me, it's just kind of a waste anyway. But this all comes from too, and I'm not trying to mix up both worlds or anything like that.
You're
but
good.
Hell yeah. Literally, we would get together in Vinny's living room one time in Vinny's fucking bedroom in Vegas. That was just a single bedroom that was upstairs at his house. Fucking vocal PA, little combo amps, Vinny on a kit. And we just fucking played through the set one time and we pretty much fucking nailed it. And we hadn't played together in months. Cause like we stopped playing and then we went in the studio, wrote and recorded an album and then came out and like started touring it, set up the album and then started touring again. So we had to obviously have a rehearsal.
Yeah.
And we just did one. That was all
Damn.
we had. That was all. It's not like we were like, well, we're going to block out 5 days here. We'll do one. And if it sucks, then we're just like, we're going to do one and we're going to do it in Vinny's bedroom.
Right.
And it was so crazy. It was so cool. Granted, Hell Yeah is not Mudvayne. You know what I mean? It's not as intricate as Mudvayne, but it was still fucking metal and it still had its intricacies and shit. But, we just did it. But I think that was just the will kind of us as people to just get in there and fucking, and go for it. That was the vibe of the band. We were definitely a fucking live act for sure. So I think if we would have been over rehearsed, we would have been, miserable. You know what I mean? Like we wanted to have a level of like push and pull. We wanted to have a level of not grotesque, but a little sloppiness to us. You know what I mean? We wanted to sound human. You know what I mean? We really did. We wanted to have that human element. Mudvayne is a little bit more robotic, and machine vibe. But it's been so much fun. And the fucking shows in Australia, I'm telling you, those people appreciate when bands travel literally halfway around the world to come and play for them. And,
That's so rad,
the shows were fucking phenomenal. And it's not just a matter of the, selling the shows out, people going, buying the tickets and getting there. It's the way that they act when they're at the shows. Like all the way front to the fucking back to the side, man. Just like literally going ballistic, man. And it's just, damn, it's just like, this is what it is all about. This is what music is for. And they're really, really embracing it. Not that we don't, but they're, like sometimes if you play places where there is a chair under somebody's ass, they will be sitting in it. Not that they're not enjoying the show, but they're sitting down and they're being fucking lazy shits about it. And it's just like, for me on stage, going fucking berserker and losing my shit, it's like, it's a little fucking disheartening to look up there and see you sitting on your ass. You know what I mean? So
you want to
just like
see people up, moving.
There were places that we played, like theaters and shit, that had seats in Australia, and fucking no one sat down. No one was sitting down, man. It was just fucking
so cool, man.
So incredible, man. And I'm not saying that Australia's better or worse, or you know what I mean, or better than our fans or anything like that, man. Metal fans are generally metal fans worldwide. It's phenomenal. And I just think that the people abroad and around the world and shit like that take it a little bit more seriously when we come, because I think that they understand that there's a lot of, what am I trying to say? A lot of choreography and, getting your shit over there and a lot of expense, a lot of money, you know what I mean?
A lot more hoops to jump through for sure.
Yeah, man. We just, and it's just like, I couldn't give it up for my crew enough. During those shows down there, I'm just like, we come down here sometimes on a shoestring or a dime or whatever. And it's just like, sometimes you just got to make shit work because you weren't able to bring that one little thing that you're used to having in America. That's like right there in storage and you just put it on the truck, now you're loading a shipping container. Hey, Madly, shut up.
It's a dog-friendly show.
Oh yeah. You got to be with us.
Yeah.
But I mean, they made it work, man. They made everything work, and they work so fucking hard, and I give props to my people every night off stage. I think that they absolutely 100% deserve it. I know a lot of bands don't do that, but I do it. I've always done it.
It's so cool to see the excitement around the live shows after being on a hiatus for over a decade. Do you feel like there was like a generation you missed out on, or does it seem like the crowd is still very mixed as far as the gauge
it's
gets?
crazy. We did miss a generation, but that generation is showing up, bro.
That's awesome.
That's what's crazy. Cool. Like, I am seeing young fucking people in the crowd. I'm seeing the old dogs. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the dudes that are my age and a little older and a little younger. Definitely, my generation and a little south of me or whatever. But there's a 10-year hole, that we put in our career, and to stand on that stage and see these 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, like, you can tell they're fucking young, man.
Yeah.
You can tell they're young by the way they dress. You can tell they're young by the way they look.
They heard Dig on TikTok or something. They're like, hell yeah, where's
dude.
This band?
But like, I've talked to so many of them. I've talked to so many of those kids, man. And they're just like, fuck, man, this is just unbelievable that you guys came back. They're so excited about it. Like, I have been a fan, since I was fucking 12 years old. Well, guess what? We weren't playing. You know what I mean? Right. We weren't playing. They were 12 years old. Now they're 22. You know what I mean? Like, we had just stopped playing. They were 12, got turned on to us, and then they fucking listened to us for a goddamn decade. And now here we are coming back. Yeah, here we are coming back, and it's 12 years later, and they're fucking 24.
Yeah.
Or they were fucking, and metal kids are metal kids, man. Like, I got into fucking metal when I was super young. So it's not crazy to think that a kid got turned on to fucking Mudvayne when he was 9, and now he's fucking 20.
Yeah, you got an older brother that listens to that shit, or a really cool dad.
I was fortunate enough to have older friends.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, when I was a freshman in high school, I had friends that were seniors, and fucking they gave me, like, they gave me the fucking Ride the Lightnings of the world. You know what I mean? And it's just like,
was that the first record you got into?
Yeah, my first cutting teeth metal record. It's so weird to even say the band name now, considering what's going on with that band. Motley Crue.
Oh,
Motley Crue. Too Fast for Love. Too Fast for Love and Shout at the Devil, man. Just fucking absolute game changers. And for me, and I grew up, my mom was not done being a kid. My mom had me when she was 17 years old. So, like, I would cruise the strip with my mom and her friends, and fucking Peter Frampton and the Eagles and Zeppelin. That was what was on the radio. So that's what I grew up with. So I grew up in a very musical household because my mom was still young, and fucking it was basically the classic rock era in real time. And so I grew up on a lot of really great music, man. But I'm telling you fucking what, it just, like, nothing touched me like, man, the first you know what I mean? That fucking first, that opening,
your ass, man.
Yeah, that opening riff to fucking Live Wire was like, what? Like, and like I said, I had a familiarity with music. I knew music, and I knew good music. You know what I mean? But that shit was just like, it bit me. It fucking bit me. And then from that was Too Fast for Love and Shout at the Devil. And then right after that, a friend older friend gave me Ride the Lightning. And he's like, dude, I'm going to give you this fucking tape. I want you to listen to this shit. And he's like, if anything happens to it, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
you only have one copy.
I'm taking it. Yeah, well, it's just his copy. It's his tape. And it's Metallica, and it's fucking Ride the Lightning, which, what the fuck do I care at that point? I've never heard it yet. You
can't just go stream another version of it.
I take it home like it's made of glass.
Yeah.
And I put it in, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Just another level, thrash, coming from more rock metal, with Motley Crue. This was definitely a new thing. It was thrash and it was fast and it was fucking
much edgier,
fucking rabid and edgy as fuck, and vocally fucking just belting, yellity fucking shit. And then but the cool thing about that was I got into that, so I got my own Ride the Lightning tape like literally probably the next fucking day. And then cool thing about that was they had Ride the Lightning or they had Kill 'Em All.
Oh, right.
So I got to go back and listen to Kill 'Em All. And then not long after that, Master dropped. Mm-hmm. And it was the same thing with me with Slayer. So I got into Slayer, and then I had it was like fucking Rain and Blood, but then I had Haunting the Chapel and Show No Mercy, and so those earlier albums to get into. So it was just this fucking overload of metal and thrash and shit, and just from then, man, it just couldn't get heavy enough. Honestly, they really they put all the fucking heavy up in me. And it's fucking Motley Crue's like, man, whatever. I didn't care.
Motley Crue sounds pretty tame compared to that.
Yeah. And Crue was still Crue.
Yeah.
But Theater Pain and shit. It's full tilt hair metal. Versus, Shout at the Devil and Ride the Lightning. Yeah, they were wearing fucking leather, and their hair was teased up, but they looked fucking tough, and they had fucking handcuffs like belts, and you know what I mean? Like, it was just like a lot of really cool, heavy metal imagery. And then, Too Fast for Love or not Too Fast for Love, Theater Pain comes, and it's like, pink zebra skin fucking tights and full tilt metal or full tilt hair metal,
Yeah, they went straight into it.
Yeah. So there's moments on those that album, fucking Home Sweet Home is obviously timeless. It's fucking amazing song and shit. And I loved what Nikki did, because Nikki was Motley Crue. You know what I mean? Like, Nikki wrote the lyrics. Nikki, laid down pretty much the song beds, the arrangements, like rhythm arrangements and shit like that. I think he arranged a lot of stuff. I think he was pretty much the man behind it. And then you got fucking Mick Mars, who's just fucking phenomenal, just such a great player. I can't say enough about Mick.
He says the door's still open to go back in the band, supposedly, in a new interview he did. He's like, I don't think we're done. Like, we're still brothers and some other stuff. I didn't remember the whole article, but I think there's a chance he's gonna circle back at some point, maybe.
I mean, dude, at this point, I'd just bow out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
yeah, it's so messy.
It's not the same, dude.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, I'm not the guy that fucking like just wants to sit and talk shit, but I have, unfortunately. It hits me so, it hits me in such a pure place, and I mean, to see it just kind of like turn into fucking whatever, because it was such a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to watch, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think they should just call it completely at this point?
I mean, unless like, you want to try harder.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? And it's not all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Tommy can still fucking play. Tommy's a fucking beast. I mean, he always will be. You know what I'm saying? But that's usually the way with drummers, right? They usually can stand the test of time. And I get it with singers. Totally. I get it. I get it with singers and shit like that. You lose some of your resonant frequency. You're like, your pitch will drop, and it's just fucking nature. It's like, only way, I can explain it to, because it has with me, my resonant pitch has definitely dropped. I can still get up there, but it's weird. Like, my register break is it's like a little bit lower and different. Hey!
Like,
sorry,
that,
guys. Yeah,
that kind of register.
Yeah, totally. So, you know what I mean? It does happen, but it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I
had David Draymond on the show last week, and we were talking about Motley Crue and got into like the whole backing track discussion. I know you're very passionate about that, and I asked him this question. I'd love to know your thoughts. Would you rather cancel a show or use backing tracks?
Cancel a show.
Just cancel it up. Yeah.
I can't do it, dude. I mean, I just can't do it. It's just, I'm not wired that way. It's not where I come from. You know, my fucking favorite bands in the world were Metallica and Slayer and fucking, you know, and well, Slayer is probably my all-time favorite band. That band has never fucking deviated. They've always been Slayer, you know? And, but it's just like, it's real fucking music and Pantera and fucking Alice in Chains and fucking, you're talking about really, really fucking difficult music to perform, man. Like really difficult music to perform. To fucking Soundgarden and fucking, like, just think of all the big fucking bands before track came around. You know what I mean? Just like, God damn, you know, Slipknot, they don't run tracks. You know what I mean? Right. They've got a sampler, but he at least triggers them. He's like, somebody's doing it. They're not playing to a fucking click.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, Lamb of God, like all my fucking favorite bands are real bands. You know what I mean? I fucking hate it, man. Like literally when I was young, and people can say whatever the fuck they want to say. I really don't care because I come from where I come from and date me if you want. But back in the day, man, if you were like, we were the first ones. Metal kids were the first ones to call bullshit on something. We were the first ones to see right fucking through it. You couldn't get shit past us. You know what happened when we saw right through your ass? You know what you were labeled? A fucking poser.
Yeah,
you were labeled a fucking
that word hurts
poser.
So bad.
Yeah, you were a fucking poser because you weren't doing something. You weren't doing something right. And now it's like, whatever. You know what I mean? Well, I think people are doing it, you know, because they can. Well, they can because we allow them to do it. If we didn't allow them to do it, motherfuckers would have to step it up.
Right.
I would love it if people
should not be allowed to be able to be involved in the scene.
I would love it if people would step up and be like, man, fuck this fucking tape bullshit. I think you're taking, and the way I look at it too is like, dude, I am so passionate about my fucking fans. My fans are an extension of myself, and I can't do enough to try to help them in their life, better their life, or give them some sort of lifeline, or make them feel a part of something bigger than themselves. Because generally suicidal thoughts and depression and shit like that comes from living in here too much and being quiet, you know. And I try to get people to be loud and be vocal and fucking and help save themselves, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm so fucking passionate about every fan that I have, and I'm so grateful and thankful for them, you know, because they saved my life every bit as much as I've ever saved their life. That's just the bottom fucking line. And, you know, I'm thankful to them day in and day out. But I'm telling you what, if my fucking fans showed up and I'm playing to fucking track and I'm not really giving it to them, I'm fucking ripping them off, because they worked fucking hard to buy a ticket to stand in front of me and see me perform and play my music that they love so much.
And they would never let you hear the end of it.
Yeah, if half of it's coming down on tracks, you know what I mean? And I'm singing to a track of my own vocal, or I've got stacks of vocal tracks that are like different voicings and shit like that. I've seen that too. Like where like it's a band, it'll be like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, and they're all four coming down at the same time. It's just like, that ain't, what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah,
like,
because you guys even hired a second guitarist to thicken out your sound, right?
Because these motherfuckers, because I've had my finger on the pulse of what's happening in the world for the last 12 years when they weren't. And I'm like, look, dude, I was like, guys, the listening experience has changed. People expect you to sound like your fucking album now. And I'm like, we never did that. And Greg does so many fucking guitar overdubs, and I do so much vocal work and stuff when I'm in the studio, just because I want to make it sound fucking great on the album.
Yeah.
But we never even looked at it like we need to roll track and we need to get somebody else or whatever. Cause we're just like, I'll just sing the main vocal, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because there's always usually kind of a secondary or something, or that's not as prominent or not as important. You know what I mean? Like, is the main melody.
Right.
So I just sang the main melodies, and Greg played the main standout kind of riff, even though, and sometimes that was the overdub. You know what I mean? And then you would lose, kind of like when you think about Pantera. You know what I mean? Like in the studio, they would fucking have songs where Dime would go into a lead and all you would hear is drums and bass.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just drums and bass.
Yeah.
And then sometimes Dime would go into a lead and there would be a rhythm track.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But sometimes it was just, and dude, I'm telling you, I loved them for doing that.
I always thought it was cool. Yeah.
Because there are certain songs that they're going to be able to fucking make sound just like the fucking record when they play it live, because he didn't do an overdub rhythm track.
Yeah.
He just goes right into his lead and lets Rex and fucking Vinny lay it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sounds really empty and hollow or whatever, but he was goddamn virtuoso. So like he's doing his fucking thing, and it's just like, they're just laying it down, dude. They're just fucking.
I think it's cool,
down.
man. It sounds so raw, it's without
so
the
cool.
overdub. Yeah, I just like the almost like punk sound to the metal of it.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
It's just really, I love that
it's
vibe
so
on
cool.
those tracks.
But that, you know, that goes back to the fucking, that goes back to the reality, and that goes back to the reality, and that goes back to fucking, you know, they were thinking like that when they were in the studio.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They were thinking like that when they were in the studio, when they can do any fucking thing you want to do in the studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, you know what? Fuck it. This song, I'm just going to play the lead. That's a cool fucking hooky fucking bass line we got going on there, man. Let's just let that fucking roll, and we'll just let it roll, and we'll go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of Pantera, man, like I feel like, you know, everyone has an opinion about it, but you're somebody that I really would love to know because you were in a band with Vinny. Yeah. How do you feel about the whole Pantera tribute?
I mean, I know what it is, and I know that the like some levels of the intention are true and pure, but I also know that from sitting in on a million fucking interviews with Vinnie Paul and him and I interviewing together and shit, and like fucking, you know, the whole time basically that wasn't happening. You know, and there was always like, you know, some clown interviewer just apparently just was just setting himself up for failure. We're like, oh, you know, so what's the deal with all the mutterings we're hearing about, you know, the Pantera reunion and, you know, Zach and Vinny would literally go, my brother's dead.
Yeah.
That's all he would say. That's all he would fucking say. And they wouldn't say another fucking word. And that's where it was. And that's the way Vinny thought about it. Pantera was done because his brother was dead. And so when I hear that and I hear how passionately he said that, and I know how much he meant it, he didn't care. Vinny didn't need the fucking money. Mm-hmm. Vinny's whole heart was in Hell Yeah. He loved Hell Yeah so fucking much. It was such an honor to be able to play in that band with him and have him literally bleed for that band. Like it was everything to him. Yeah. And he didn't care about Pantera anymore. You know, he wanted Hell Yeah to break through that Pantera Mudvayne barrier and be able to stand on our own 2 feet without all the fucking stigma of the other bands, you know, because we worked really fucking hard, man. We worked really hard. We did 6 albums. I did more albums with Hell Yeah than I did with Mudvayne. You know what I mean? So we worked we worked really, really, really hard and went through a lot of ups and downs. Those first, you know, the first album was just like us getting together and going for it. Yeah. The second album was like us not really knowing what the fuck we wanted to be. And it's very clear by listening to that second album still to this day. And the third album, I'm like, I'm in a fucking band with my favorite fucking metal guitar player and my favorite fucking metal drummer. I never aspired to be a rock singer. I want to be a heavy metal band. Mm-hmm. And that was the only conversation we had. And then the first fucking song we wrote on fucking Band of Brothers was War in Me. So it was just like, you know, here we come, you know, and I think Band of Brothers turned the ship around. And then Blood for Blood, you know, we fucking started working with Churko, and like literally we were full steam on that fucking album. Like that's one of my favorite bodies of work in my whole career is Blood for Blood. And we worked so hard on that, and just it was literally everything. So like Vinny just didn't care about Pantera, and that's not to piss any of the fucking Pantera fans off. He loved the Pantera fans, loved them.
Yeah.
He wanted them to come to the Hell Yeah side, and he didn't care if you still love Pantera, you know, and I didn't care if you still love Mudvayne, you know, but we wanted to be at least respected for what we were doing. But it's a hard hurdle to jump, you know. So, you know, and I've talked to so many people about it, and honestly, I think that the general consensus is that people are loving to fucking be standing on that floor again and listening and having them fucking, whether, no matter how they sound, fucking blazing into those fucking songs and playing that set list. And that set list is mean as fuck. You know what I mean? That set list is all my favorite shit. And it's just like, you know, fucking strength beyond strength and fucking, you know, I don't know exactly what.
So you've seen them though?
I haven't seen it. No.
Oh, okay.
But dude, I saw Pantera 14 times as Pantera.
Yeah.
You know, I saw them the first time I saw them, they were basically still in Cowboys from Hell. Oh, and then I saw them 13 more times from then to the fucking to reinventing.
It's gotta be so cool to grow up listening to a band and then like be in the band, like another band with like the drums and that. Like that's just gotta be such a surreal moment.
It was bittersweet because I would have fucking loved to have never been in his band, you know, because he was still playing with his brother.
Right. That's true. Because in order for that to happen, Pantera had it. Yeah. That's a good point.
Dime had to die apparently for, but you know what?
That happened just right down the road for me too.
Yeah. That was another thing about, you know, Vinny and Hell Yeah and how much he loved it. It was because because Hell Yeah brought him back out of that darkness, you know, like he quit playing, you know, he was done. He was fucking done when his brother died. And, we brought him out of that, man. And he, again, like I said about the metal kids, you know, get something bigger than themselves. He had something bigger than himself again, you know what I mean? And he had something to get into and get excited about. And, you know, he was so fucking passionate about it. But yeah, it's just like the Pantera thing to me is just, it's so hard for me to process because I get it. I was a fucking massive Pantera fan. I was a massive Pantera fan. And, I get, you know, and I understand what standing on that floor means too. Because we're, you know, if you're standing on that floor, chances are you're probably a little long in the tooth. Not that there aren't those young kids that never saw them, you know, because I guarantee you there's a lot of them or whatever. But there's something like the fountain of youth is heavy fucking metal, right? You know, it's like a fountain of youth. It's like you go stand on that fucking floor and you're standing there and you're looking at the Pantera backdrop and they fucking walk out and they tear into Strength Beyond Strength or whatever. Dude, guess what? You're not fucking 40 something. You're not 50 something. You're fucking,
you forget about the mortgage.
You're 18 years old again, dude. Yeah. And you're 18 again, and you're 18 years old again for that night, you know? And it's like, it's what I always say off stage. It's like, check all your fucking bullshit baggage at the door, all the things that life fucking stacks on us and all the fucking bricks we drag for life and shit like that. Like when you're in this fucking space, leave it all outside, man. It'll be here when you fucking leave. But you know what? Life is hard and we deserve a fucking break. You know what I mean? And that fucking break might as well be right now. You know what I mean? So, let's embrace this shit and don't fucking worry about fucked up relationships or fucking trying to pay the bills or what your fucking bullshit job is doing or blah, 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 or fucking money or da, 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 all the hardships. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Just be young and feel young and fucking, let's fucking get nuts and let's embrace each other and, you know, let's do it right. You know what I'm saying? So.
I know you're fully focused.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know you're fully focused on Mudvayne right now, but do you think there'll ever be another Hell Yeah record?
I can't imagine it would be. It just doesn't feel right. And we talked about it, you know, like we went and did the celebration of lives for Vinny after he passed. Whew, that was fucking so brutal. But we did it. I think we did it before we wanted to do it. So it really, really put a strain on us, individually. It put a strain on us as a group, as a band. And we just, like, when we were done with that shit, we just fucking ran from each other, like, as hard and fast as we could. Like, we just wanted away from each other
hurt
because
too much.
me looking at Tom made me remember Vinny.
Yeah.
You know, me looking at Kyle, or Kyle looking at Tom, or Tom looking at Kyle, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, it just, like, if you look at those people, it just makes you think about Vin. And it was so fucking traumatic for us, you know, especially the way it went down. Just so, you know, I'm sitting in the fucking studio when I got the call. You know what I mean? I'm trying to fucking, and then I get the call and I find out what happened, and I've got 6 fucking songs left to write, you know, and I mean, just like, how, and I sat on the fucking bed the next day, and I was like, and I talked to him like I'm talking to you, man. I just said, brother, big part of me wants to just go home. Big part of me just wants to call it, fucking make it an EP, fucking whatever, you know, but this is your final work, and I got to show you respect and love. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to fucking do it. And Kevin and I everybody ran home, left Kevin and I in the fucking studio. And I leaned on that dude so hard, and he leaned right back on me, because Vinny was a real dear friend of his too. And we both just fucking battled through it, you know, and we got the album done, you know what I mean? And, you know, I can't see us, ever doing it again without him. You know what I mean? It'd be a lot of fucking fun. But I mean, I'm excited to do other shit. I'm excited because, you know, Tom and, he's going to the studio, and he's just fucking just writing these fucking absolutely crushing riffs. So we're talking about putting back together a project that was the beginning of HELLYEAH.
Gotcha.
Or whatever, what HELLYEAH was supposed to be. And then we got Vinny, so it didn't end up coming to fruition, that particular project. Yeah. So, we're talking about putting that back together or whatever. And that's
cool.
It's just crazy, heavy, fucking extreme as fuck, you know, and it's super rad, but it'll be something fun to do. I'm excited to hopefully be able to flesh out some new music with Mudvayne. I don't think we're going to do an album or anything like that, but we might do, you know, a few songs. We've started messing with some shit. I think we got some cool stuff. We got some bangers, and we got, you know, some Mudvayne-esque, you know, tracks. And, you know, I think it's cool. I hope we can see it through to fruition. It's just that at this point, we just have to decide, after such a long separation, it's like, do we still want the same things? You know what I mean? Because that's always something, you know. And
is that what's keeping you guys from moving forward with like recording the tracks and putting them out, just because you don't know where you want it to go at the moment?
We're just trying to figure out where we want it to go. Like right now, like we got like some, you can call them whole songs because they have a start and a finish, but I mean, I feel like they're kind of half songs. I just don't think they're realized yet. I don't think we have figured out exactly how we want this to play out, with what we're doing in our business, or, how we want it to, sonically sound. You know, that nothing inside of me wants to be the Mudvayne of LD50. You know what I mean? I don't like, I think that the more albums we wrote, the better we got as songwriters.
Right.
Like, I mean, which a lot of people would probably disagree with me, but A New Game is probably one of my favorite fucking albums. It's got like a Doughboy on it. It's got like just some really, like, you know, quintessential Mudvayne stuff that's not anything like anybody else was doing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we fucking finally had kind of found our groove. Like LD50 to me was a very gratuitous individual workshop. And we put them all 4 pieces together and called it an album, you know, which is everybody's fucking, I mean, I can't talk shit about that album. I said one thing about the mix was weird, and fucking somebody's like, it's fucking, you know, like Limp did.
I go to sleep to that every night, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. It's like, I'm just saying, like, it's like a slightly different mix on it. You know what I mean? I would have, you know, I mean, that's cool that you love what you heard, and it's the first thing you ever heard from Mudvayne. So people are always going to be closest to that. Same with fucking Slipknot and the self-titled, their first album. It's like, they've written a lot of great shit. You know what I mean? It's always going to be that. Pantera, you go back to really though, with Pantera, I go to Vulgar. Even though Cowboys was the first thing I heard, but Vulgar was like, I kind of feel like where they figured themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, Metallica, I would probably go to Master of Puppets, not Ride the Light and not Kill 'Em All, even though they're fucking great. It's like, sometimes it's when the band figured out what the fuck they were. Yeah. And that's when it's special. And I feel like Slayer is Rain and Blood. And you know what I mean? So it's just like, for me, End of All Things to Come, Lost and Found was definitely there. But I really think that, like Lost and Found was our biggest album, hands down. But New Game, man, I love the songwriting on that, because it's just kind of fucking creepy and weird and different.
So you probably weren't that bummed then that you didn't get to do like a 20-year anniversary blowout for LD50.
We talked about it because we had just started talking about putting this back together again. So it's like, for us to have all the tools to be able to really make that happen, like re-releasing a vinyl. Times. Yeah, like a fucking vinyl now takes fucking 2 years to get it printed. So it's just like,
thanks, Adele.
We would have been thinking about it a hell of a lot sooner than us just putting the band back together. So we didn't even do a fucking anniversary T-shirt, for it. I mean, about the best thing we did was a Dixon. It was the LD50 Dixon or whatever. It was probably closer to around that time, but it still wasn't an LD50 thing. It just represented LD50.
Yeah, I saw an interview. Is this interview that Metal Hammer reposted from back in 2000? You guys did when that record came out, and they were saying like, talking about how Clown from Slipknot produced the album, and then a lot of because of that connection. Producer. What's that?
He's an executive producer.
Yeah, executive producer.
Look at every movie you've ever seen or whatever, and they're like executive produced by Ben Affleck, and it's starring Ben Affleck.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's just another line item in the budget where he can get paid.
Yeah. So Clown saw you one time, basically.
Clown probably didn't really do anything musically with us or anything on that, but I'm going to tell you what, I got to give that dude the most mad amount of love, because that motherfucker took us under his wing. We toured with those guys for the first 7 months we ever toured. You know what I mean? Like, Clown did his part from a live standpoint. And, and by him doing that, that showed the world that band gave us their blessing, which was such a huge thing for us because we wore fucking makeup.
Yeah.
So if that band decided that they didn't want to like us, you know what I mean, we would have lost their entire fan base.
That's fair.
But because they showed us the love that they did and took us on tour with them and shit, we got their blessing. And it was very loud. It was a very loud blessing, because we were fucking opening up for that band every fucking night on three different tours. We did with them. We opened for them, and it was fucking phenomenal. It's some of the best times of my life, because I got to meet 9 really fucking rad dudes, and that I stayed friends with, 2 of them until their deaths. Joey and I and Paul and I were fucking close, to the end.
Back in that time, like early on, because like since you were being taken under Slipknot's wing, did you guys get like a lot of comparisons drawn to the 2 bands? Just because, I mean, you didn't wear masks, of course.
No. But that was one of the reasons why we took our makeup off, because it was just like the fucking comparisons of us to them just got so fucking annoying and old. And we got it a lot in Europe. You know what I mean? It was a lot over there. But Europe and the UK is so press driven or whatever. Just everything as far as promotion is done through the press on some level, or it used to be anyway.
Yeah.
Now everything is just the fucking social media and all that shit,
right.
Just like everything else. But, it used to be so press driven, and it's like every fucking interview, man, but every interview we did in America too, the same thing. It was the same fucking thing. It was just like, we are not the same bands musically. We're not the same bands, even look wise. These guys wear fucking homemade fucking masks that they, they've generated and created on their own. We wear makeup. We are inspired by movies. That's why we wear makeup. We were inspired by modern art. We were inspired by visual art. We were inspired by movies. That's why we wore makeup. With a movie, you get content, you get visual, and you get a score. You know, with music, if you go to see a show live, you get content and the lyrics, and you get the score, which is the music, but you didn't have the visual. So we wanted to bring the visual to the live show. We wanted to make our live show look like a movie. Yeah. That's why we put makeup on. We wanted to create a visual element to our performance, because you were going to have content with our lyrics and you were going to have a score with our music. So we wanted to bring the visual element to it. And that's what motivated us to do it. And we were doing it before we even knew who the fuck Slipknot was. I remember when I fucking first learned who Slipknot was, I'm like, what? Really? Fuck. You know, like, God damn it, man. God damn it. You know, nobody else is doing it. You know, I mean, nobody else is doing what we were doing then. And then boom, here they are. But it was cool. Even me, I was like, oh, they wear masks? Okay, cool. Yeah, you know, it's different. They're not wearing makeup? Yeah. Okay, cool. You know, at least we're doing something fucking different, you know? Yeah. Because they were about 5 minutes ahead of us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They were on that Ozfest 98 or 99, whatever it was. And so they were just a little bit ahead of us, but it was just because we were doing what we were doing before we knew who they were, before anybody knew who the fuck they were. But they were fortunate enough to get signed first. So had it went the other way, we would have got signed first, and then they would have popped on. Not that they wouldn't have fucking absolutely stormed the fucking world, because what they did was fucking great, and what they do is great. Yeah. But you know, I like to think we had our own little storm too. But I would, you know, it was frustrating for me that, like, I felt the need, like, you know what, I want to get away from this. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of the fucking them drawing comparisons. Let's just take the fucking makeup off. And I think that was a big downfall for Mudvayne when we did that. You know, when we took the makeup off. Oh, absolutely, man. People fucking loved it. Same as they love fucking Slipknot's mask. They loved what we did with our makeup, you know? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, bam, we're just not wearing it anymore. And it's just like, you know, people were butthurt by it, you know, for sure. But rightfully so. You know what I mean? Like, we took the visual away from the music that we created. And that was the whole fucking point we did in the first place. So whatever. So when you guys came back, were you like, for sure, like, oh yeah, we're doing the makeup 100%? Or was there like any kind of conversation about it? I never really wanted to take it off in the fucking first place. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, you know, and I always did different shit. Like, I always did blood and different shit like that. You know, with Mudvayne, and changed, you know, did a lot of costuming and stuff, and stuff, just trying to keep it mixed up for fucking monkey suits and fucking clown suits and fucking all, you know, all just the dude stupid shit that I did or whatever. But I was always just trying to bring that visual back to, you know, what we kind of let go of, you know, when we took the makeup off and stuff. So yeah, you guys freaked me out when I was a kid, when I just like saw the visual. I was like, oh, and I was expecting like death metal or something crazy, and then I heard Dig the first time. I'm like, oh shit, this is great. Like, this is, it's heavy, but it's catchy too. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, I just loved like the unexpectedness of how like radio friendly and melodic you could be while still being heavy, and that was so great to me. That was a big part of our music, man, and that was a big part of what we wanted to do. And again, I think with our new music and what we're trying to do, it's like, what do we want to do? You know what I mean? Do we keep that? I mean, personally, I'm a fan of. I'm a big fan of good songs. I'm a big fan of good music, and I feel like that I've continued that. I continued that through Hell Yeah. I mean, we had multiple top 10 singles. We had multiple top 5 singles. We had, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so we did pretty well at radio, you know what I mean? And, not that radio's where I want to be, but with that comes good songs. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that Mudvayne has a couple and that right now that I feel are just really good tracks. And I think they're good Mudvayne tracks. And I think that they sound like Mudvayne. And I think that they're very non-quintessential in the delivery of the song. They don't sound like radio songs, although I think they could be on the radio. I think they could be popular songs because I think that they're well-written songs. And that's like a lot of things with a lot of the bands now. It's like a lot of new bands, they don't have songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we have like a fucking laundry list of really great songs, whether they were singles or not. Like I said, Dull Boy is not a single, but that song is a big song. If we didn't play that song live, people would be pissed. If we didn't play fucking Nothing to Gain live, people would be pissed. That's not a single, you know what I mean? But we have fucking songs, you know what I mean? And writing a good song is not about having a bunch of fucking badass riffs, you know what I mean? And mushing them together. It's about fucking having badass riffs and knowing how to arrange them, and maybe not having such a badass riff in one single part to let it breathe a little bit, you know what I mean? Or to let the song fucking kind of open up. You know what I mean? It was like a lot of new shit. It's just like, man, there's some fucking rad riffs, but it's just like rad riff after rad riff after rad riff after rad riff. And it's just like, fucking calm down a little bit. You know what I mean?
Where's
like
the meat?
Slow down and pull it back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like allow that one to be like, if that riff is in and of itself, if it's hooky and it stands out, let that do that thing. It's kind of like goes back to the Pantera. Da-na-na, 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 da-na-na. The fucking thing that runs through that entire song is dun dun dun.
Yeah, right.
That's it. That's the hook. So let it be what it is. You know what I mean? But fucking take that hook and change it up a little bit. Dun 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 dun. Now we're in a chorus.
A little candy there.
Now it's the chorus.
Yeah.
It's not the verse anymore. That's what separates it, and that's what distinguishes it from the verse, is that even though that is
that's the base of it.
That's the hook.
Yeah.
And then you've got this fucking amazing vocal melody. And you've got this fucking laid back fucking 4 on the floor fucking drum beat. And it's just like, that's what I loved. That's what I really loved about playing with Vinnie Paul. Vinnie Paul and Dimebag both played for the fucking song. You know what I mean? They played for the song. And it's like a lot of people could learn a lot of lessons from that shit. Like learning how to fucking really play for the song.
Right. It's not about showing them, like, look what I can do. It's about giving the song what the song needs. Yeah.
It's not going to breathe. You know what I mean? Like you just have one like, it's like, cool. It's 2 cool riffs. You know what I mean?
Where's the meat?
Separate. They are the meat, but separate them a little bit and put a little fucking fat and gristle up in there. You know what I mean? Fat's flavor.
Right. Yeah. You know? Fat's flavor, baby.
Put a little flavor in there. But
I know I speak for everybody listening and watching right now that we can't wait to, hear you flush those out and get those out in the world. Fingers crossed. It happens.
Yeah. My fingers are as crossed as yours, bro. Brother. It really is. And it's just like, but literally I've thought about that. Like, is this, does this band want the same things as we did fucking 14 years ago when we last fucking put together new music? Like,
you're different people.
I really hope so. And we've actually talked about it, you know what I mean? And I think the idea that we're having the conversation is fucking great, but I think it's definitely become a lot more fucking difficult than I ever would have anticipated. You know what I mean? Really, like seriously, more difficult than I could have ever anticipated. But I think we're going to get there. I really do. And again, like we've still got some bangers, man. Like we still got some slammers and stuff. So I think it'll be cool. Nobody needs to expect a new record. That I just not going to happen. I just, the way I look at albums is just like, Jesus Christ, how much fucking time did I waste? You know what I mean? Because seriously, like, the only people that really listen to an entire record front to back are your fucking true hardcore fans. You know what I mean? And that's with any band. How many times did I listen to fucking, Far Beyond Driven or fucking South of Heaven or Raining Blood or fucking Master Puppets a million fucking times, each one of them, you know what I mean? But ultimately, when you get into shit like that, you really only heard, a lot of people have only heard Walk.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people have only heard Happy. A lot of people have only heard Dig. A lot of, you know what I mean? Like each record you put out, there's generally 2 or 3 singles. Those are the ones that the masses hear. And there's fucking 8, 9, 10 fucking songs that are by the masses are never heard.
Right.
So it's
you
like,
can spread those out over a whole career.
Exactly. You know, yeah. Fucking 8 songs. Are you fucking kidding me? Like versus writing 8 songs that were never fucking basically heard.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy talk.
Well,
you know?
and like you said, like music, the way you release music is different than it was, back in 2010 when you guys.
You can do it. You can do it this way now. You can fucking just release songs, and this is like that was an idea that I had fucking zillion years ago. You know, it's that fucking never ending record. You know, you just keep releasing shit and dropping shit and and there all of a sudden the body of work goes away. You know what I mean? It's just this fucking endlessly vacillating, ever changing fucking thing. You know what I mean? That you create and just run with. You know, and there is no more body of work. Fuck it.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah, because everything's so condensed now. It's all shortened and attention spans are shorter.
You can stand on the shore.
Yeah.
When the hurricane's coming, you know what I mean? And you can have your fists up in the air, but it's like, you're not going to win that fight. You know, the best thing you can do is take cover, let the fucking thing blow in and get in the wake and follow it. Yeah. And that's the way I look at technology and the way we do shit. Now it's like, I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to roll with it. You know what I mean? If this is the way that things are being done now, then guess what? This is the way that I want to do things now. I don't want to go, I can just release this one song or this 2 songs and I'm going to release a whole fucking record. Nobody fucking cares.
Yeah.
Nobody's got the fucking attention span for it anyway. So it's just a waste of my fucking time, you know?
Well, that's a surprisingly fresh and non-curmudgeon way to look at it from an artist who has been releasing music successfully for 20, 30 years. So a lot of people, they're stuck in their ways and they're like, no, fuck that. I want to release an album. But like you said, like that's not the way the game is anymore. And you got to kind of do it.
I guarantee you,
know?
every single song that we release, we're going to put some promotion behind it. Therefore, every single song that we release is going to be heard.
Yeah.
You know, on a much grander scale than if I were just to put out a album and then drop a single and then drop a single and then drop a single. You know what I mean? There's going to be 7, 8, 9 songs that are
just kind of,
they never had any fucking zhuzh put behind them. You know what I mean? So you can't expect them to be heard. And I mean, ultimately, I want the fucking masses to hear my music because last time I checked, I got something to fucking say. You know, so I want to be heard. You know,
well, I support that, man, 100%. I think that is definitely the route to take with that one. Dude, it's been so awesome chatting with you. Do you have time for 2 quick little just fun questions here at the end?
Of course.
Cool. What do you think of the Crow reboots?
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, you haven't seen the previews yet?
No, tell me what it is.
Oh, so they're rebooting the Crow movie. And they've got Bill Skarsgård playing it, and they kind of made the Crow look like a SoundCloud rapper. People are real pissed about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I already fucking hate it. I mean,
just from that description.
I mean, it's a pretty hard movie to fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. A lot of people are not even going to give it a chance right off the bat just because it is the Crow. You know?
Well, they could have fucking. They could have. They just could have been fucking smarter about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the fucking new Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever. It's like, really? Like let it go because fucking I don't think anybody can disagree that Johnny Depp was the fucking man as Captain Jack Sparrow. Yeah. And I don't care that the chick is not going to be Captain Jack Sparrow. I get that, but it's just like, why even keep it going? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the best has already happened.
It's gonna be hard.
Trying to compete. I'm just saying, trying to compete with fucking what he did with Captain Jack Sparrow's. Just crazy. But you're telling me that they're going to do it with the Crow now. So and it doesn't sound like people are too fucking stoked about it. So
no, people are very unhappy so far. Even the original director, I guess, was like, I'm not going to hate on this, but I just don't think it should be happening. Basically,
right? Of course, but that's apparently Hollywood's out of ideas. So
it does seem to be the case.
It's just like everything is fucking remake.
Second question. Hopefully you're familiar with this one. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. Who you got, buddy? Who you got?
Tyson all day.
So I'm saying, man, he's still a monster. He's still a monster, man.
Dude, he trains every fucking day of his life.
Yeah.
Like literally, I guarantee you, even when he's not doing shit, he's still on a level trains. He's been doing it for so long. It'd be like me just not going to the gym. Like I go to the gym. That's what I do. I go to the fucking gym every day, you know? It'd just be like me not going to the gym. It's like he trains every fucking day.
Oh yeah.
And I think, you know, he's a 57-year-old man, but man, just even the things I've just seen on Instagram, like just him, you know, hitting the bag and him sparring and hitting his guy and shit. I'm just like, the technique is there. The fucking power is there. You know what I mean? Like the dude just has so much power, and it would be one thing if he didn't have his power anymore. You know what I mean? But he's fucking so much more. He's so much wiser.
Oh yeah.
As a fighter, he's so much wiser than this young kid, man. It's wisdom that you can't even fuck with, you know, on a Tyson. You're talking about a world heavyweight champion's mind, the mind of a world heavyweight champion fighter with age added to it, and he still has the moves. He still has the fucking power. I think that kid's gonna get knocked the fuck out. I think he'll stand in there, man. I've seen some shit with him.
Yeah,
he looks like a competent fighter, but I mean, you're talking about taking on one of the greatest of all time,
right?
It's just
and also,
it's going to be
tend to fight more when they get older, so that's going to
it would play. It would be. I mean, to me, it would be the fucking upset of the fucking century if he were to pull it out.
Oh yeah. There'd be some fuckery there if that happens.
Where are you at? Where are you at with it?
Yeah, I'm going Tyson, dude, for sure.
You have to.
I mean, again, you want to take age and take accountability, you know. And Jake Paul, it does have some fights under his belt, but yeah, it's just the boy in me believes that Mike Tyson is still got it, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I mean, like I said, everything I've seen, like he's still ducking and bobbing and weaving and man, when he's fucking hitting that dude with that's, you know, basically the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, because he's so covered in pads, because you got to be, because it's Mike Tyson hitting you. Like, seriously, like when he's laying into that dude, he is fucking throwing some heat.
Oh,
man.
dude,
like,
he's leaving imprints. In that shit.
And with crazy fucking pads on. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Well,
awesome, dude, man. It's been a fucking a tremendous pleasure and honor to talk to you and to be able to talk about my fans and give them some love and praise, and to be able to talk to you about you know, thank you for allowing me to kind of say my piece about just kind of where I'm at with it and stuff. And I hope that people understand that I was best friends with one of the fucking men that did it, that made that band happen and stuff like that. And he was never behind it, man. He was just never behind it. So it's hard for me to, you know, just like, cause I have a lot of fucking respect for Vinnie Paul. I really do. Well, and I have a lot of respect for Dimebag Darrell. And, it's cool. Do like, let it be the tribute thing or whatever, but, you know, really question how much longer it goes, or you know, what else happens with it. You know, I would just like to just you know, make sure that we're giving love and respect to those two fallen brothers, man, because they really are, man, and they really did. Yeah. They were a really fucking big part of music, man. It seems like kind of a cheat, you know, they're not here to be a part of it. Something that they built with their own hands, you know. Man, I really appreciate you like opening up about it and giving us a little insight into the situation. Because, like I said, yeah, man, everyone has an opinion about it, and you're somebody that I definitely want to know your opinion on it for sure. Yeah. So, but I got nothing but love for Zach and Charlie's a fucking tremendous talent, and you know, like, and I think that they're doing it for, like, I think where they're doing it is from the place is pure. Yeah, you know, for those two, you know what I mean? Those are big fucking shoes to fill, but you know, they're both fucking phenomenal players, and they're both great people. So I've got nothing but really good things to say, but it's hard for me because, you know, Vinny was my bro, and I know how he felt about it.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a say. So
unfortunately,
it's hard. Yeah.
Well, dude, the privilege has been on all this side of the screen for sure. I've been so stoked to tell, like, one of my favorite bands since I was a wee little lad. I don't know why I went Irish there for a second, but yeah, when I was a kid.
Okay.
Are there any last minute plugs you want to get in before we get out of here?
We're doing these 2 festival shows. We're doing 3 headlining shows. I can run down the fucking dates with you really fucking fast. We're playing May 9th at the Daytona International Speedway, which, dude, I have a relationship with that place since I was a little boy. I used to go to races there with my grandma and grandpa.
Oh, nice.
When I was like 7. Grantville, PA at the Hollywood Casino at Penn National Racecourse. That's on May 11th. May 15th. Awesome at the rave in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I fucking love Milwaukee and I love the rave. And so please come to that show if you're in the Chicagoland, Milwaukee area, or anywhere up in that at their cheesesteak. Come on down and let's hang. Columbus, Ohio at the historic Crew Stadium.
That's the one I'm going to try to be at.
Yeah. Are you going to be there?
I'm going to try to. Yeah, I'm in Ohio. I'm in Cleveland.
Cool, dude.
So.
Yeah. Well, definitely find me, man. Let's say what's up. And so, yeah, we're playing Sonic Temple. And then we're in Mashantucket, Connecticut at the Premier Theater at Foxwoods Resort Casino. It's on May 18th. So come check us out at that one. And the rave is May 15th. So it's just 5 dates. That's it. I mean, that's like literally the only thing we've got in the plans
limited engagement opportunities, baby.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, just let's fucking rip it up at the festivals in front of all our fucking heavy metal brothers and sisters. And I'll rip it up in front of all the Mudvayne fucking brothers and sisters. At those
absolutely.
Other shows. So, be a good
if
time,
you're listening and watching, which I know you are, because you're hearing my voice right now, please go find and stream the crap out of all the Mudvayne you can find on all the social media and all the stream platforms. Buy a record too while you're at it. Why not? Also follow at Jesse Lee on TikTok and Instagram, at Jesse Lee Show on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And most importantly, above all else, make sure to share this episode with someone that doesn't suck. All right?
There you go.
Take
Sharing
it easy
with
now.
People that don't suck is huge.
Those are the best kind of people usually.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
Right,
Thank you,
take
brother.
care, brother.